4 years ago, I decided to run for Hennepin County Attorney. Until then, I had spent my entire 30-year career defending people whose liberty was at stake in the same criminal legal system, in the same building, the Hennepin County Government Center. I ran because I knew that the criminal legal system did not keep our communities safe. I ran because I saw people who were harmed not get the help they needed. I ran because I saw years of unequal treatment of Black and brown people culminating in the murder of George Floyd on video for the entire world to see. I ran because I knew we could create a safer, healthier, and more equitable environment for the people of Hennepin County. Throughout my campaign, I talked about the importance of removing politics from the decision-making in this office. I can proudly say that in 2.5 years as Hennepin County Attorney, I have not allowed political concerns to impact my decisions. We have focused on implementing evidence-based practices and applying them to individual cases. I ran for office to do the work, and I am so proud of the work we have done, too much of which has been unrecognized. Election cycles seem to start earlier and earlier. And in the past few months, I have been asked about whether I will run for re-election. As I have weighed whether I wanted to spend my last 1.5 years of my term focused primarily on campaigning or continuing to transform this office, the choice became clear. Running for office can quickly become its own full-time job. Raising money, courting delegates, and fighting misinformation campaigns, rather than continuing to work hard every day to improve this office and further our mission, to keep the promises I made when I ran for this office. For these reasons, I have decided not to run for re-election. I want to direct my energy on doing the work. I want to focus on running the office rather than running for office. I know that some of you will be surprised to hear this. We become accustomed to elected officials who are more invested in holding on to power than doing the work of the people. That is not me. I wanted to mention just a few of our accomplishments in just 2.5 short years. We have worked on preventing violence before it starts, and it's working. Violent crime continues to drop, and just recently, we held this office's very first ever Violence Prevention Summit. We have cut down on youth car thefts by creating and implementing a remarkably successful early intervention program. We have worked with our community and county partners to get young people the support and treatment they need, and helped lead efforts to ensure they have appropriate places to get this help. We established the Conviction Integrity Unit, the first of its kind at the county level in Minnesota, and have played an important role in multiple exonerations. We have learned from the mistakes of the past and have provided training to our staff and policy guidance on issues such as eyewitness identification in the hopes that we will never see a wrongful conviction again. We have significantly improved our work with victims, opening a brand new trauma-informed space for victims of domestic violence. We created what's been called nationally a model policy on U and T visas to help immigrant victims of crime come forward. We recently reached our 500th certification. And we have held those who caused harm accountable, day in and day out, always with our emphasis on public safety. People will speculate that I'm doing this because I don't think I can win re-election. That could not be further from the truth. When I ran last time, I was totally transparent about my priorities. We would treat kids like kids. We would not seek the maximum sentences possible, but instead, those sentences necessary to keep the community safe. We would support survivors of crime, and we would investigate police shootings just like we do with every case. We would consistently send the message that no one is above the law. These ideas were attacked relentlessly on the campaign trail by my opponents. And despite the storm of media opposition, the voters delivered a 16-point victory. That is what a real mandate looks like. We made promises, and voters chose this vision. We are keeping these promises, and we are executing the vision. If I chose to run again, I am confident that our collective vision would still win. People may also speculate that I am doing this because of the pushback on this work. We knew institutions would be resistant to change because the people invested in the status quo would use fear tactics, inaccurate information, and outright lies to try to discredit our work. And people are susceptible to these messages because we've been told for decades that what keeps us safe is what the system has always done. The truth is that it doesn't, and it takes courage to point that out and to do things differently. Let me be clear on this point. No one has a crystal ball. No one knows what the future will hold for individual decisions. But we are applying research, data, and lived experience to specific facts and individual human behavior to make decisions that give us the best chance to improve both individual outcomes and community safety. People may disagree with the decisions we reach, but the data and the outcomes from our approach are clear. What's been missing is reporting on that research, data, and lived experience, which would allow the public to fairly evaluate the approach itself. Instead, the narratives advanced by the media, the police union, and politicians investing in maintaining the status quo have been focused on manufactured controversy about me, not the actual work we have been doing in this office to keep our community safe. These inaccurate narratives have done a great disservice to the people of Hennepin County and have compromised the safety of our community and the people who work in this office. My hope is that moving forward, the narrative can shift to focus on the transformative work being done by our office and the powerful impact it is having on both individuals and our community more broadly. I am confident that the Hennepin County voters who overwhelmingly elected me just 2.5 years ago by 16 points will choose a county attorney in 2026 who will build upon the work which is making Hennepin County safer and more just. My focus for the next 1.5 years will be continuing this critical work. We will not slow down on the progress we are making towards true community safety. We will continue to implement policies and practices that are evidence-informed. And when my term ends, I will continue to work for systemic change for our community, just as I have done my entire career.